Coco Kids! Coco Kids! Coco Kids!
Welcome to the world of Coco Kids.
In a village surrounded by dense woods, there lived a sweet little girl known as Little Red Riding Hood. She earned her name from the vibrant red-hooded cloak her grandmother had crafted for her. Little Red, with her golden locks and sparkling blue eyes, was beloved by everyone in the village for her kindness and innocence. One bright morning, Little Red's mother called her into the cozy kitchen, handing her a basket filled with goodies. "Little Red," her mother said, "your grandmother isn't feeling well. Take this basket of freshly baked cookies, a jar of honey, and a bouquet of wildflowers to cheer her up. Stay on the path and don't talk to strangers." Little Red promised to be careful and set off on her journey through the village and into the enchanting woods. The sun played hide-and-seek through the leaves, creating dappled patterns on the forest floor. Birds sang sweet melodies, and the air was filled with the scent of pine and blooming flowers. As Little Red strolled along the winding path, she marveled at the beauty of nature around her. Unbeknownst to her, a mischievous wolf named Wolfgang observed her from behind the trees. Hungry and cunning, Wolfgang saw an opportunity for a delicious feast. Wolfgang, with his sleek gray fur and keen eyes, stealthily approached Little Red. He spoke with a voice that seemed friendly and warm. "Greetings, Little Red Riding Hood. What brings you to the enchanted woods today?" Not sensing any danger, Little Red smiled and replied, "Hello, Mr. Wolf. I'm going to visit my grandmother. She's not feeling well, and I want to bring her some treats to make her feel better." He trailed behind Red, keeping a safe distance, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Meanwhile, Red reached Granny Rose's cottage, nestled beneath a canopy of towering trees. She knocked on the door, calling out, "Granny Rose, it's me, Red. I've brought you some treats." To her surprise, there was no answer. Concerned, Red pushed open the door and stepped inside. The cottage was eerily quiet, and Granny Rose was nowhere to be found. "Granny, are you here?" Red called out, her voice tinged with worry. Suddenly, she heard a rustling sound coming from the bedroom. Red cautiously approached. To her horror, Red saw the wolf, dressed in Granny Rose's nightcap and spectacles, lying in her bed with the covers pulled up to his chin. His eyes glinted with mischief as he grinned wickedly at her. "Oh my, what big eyes you have, Granny!" Red exclaimed, trying to hide her fear. "The better to see you with, my dear," the wolf replied in a voice that sounded strangely like Granny Rose's. Red's heart pounded with fear as she realized the wolf's deception. With quick thinking, she pretended to play along. "And Granny, what big ears you have," she said, edging closer to the bed. "The better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf replied, his grin widening. Drawing upon her courage, Red took a deep breath and sprang into action. With a swift movement, she dashed out of the cottage, slamming the door shut behind her. She raced through the forest, her red cape billowing behind her like a fiery comet. The wolf, enraged by Red's escape, gave chase, his thundering footsteps echoing through the trees. But Red was swift and nimble, darting between the trees with the agility of a fox. As Red reached the edge of the forest, she spotted a group of woodcutters working nearby. "Help! Please, help me!" she cried, waving her arms frantically. The woodcutters, hearing Red's cries, rushed to her aid. They brandished their axes and confronted the wolf, who skidded to a halt, his eyes wide with fear. Realizing he was outnumbered, the wolf turned tail and fled into the depths of the forest, his howls of frustration echoing into the distance. Safe at last, Red collapsed into the arms of the woodcutters, tears of relief streaming down her cheeks. "Thank you, thank you. You saved me," she exclaimed, her voice trembling with gratitude. The woodcutters comforted Red and escorted her back to the village, where she was reunited with her worried mother. Together, they shared the tale of Red's harrowing adventure, warning others to beware of the cunning wolf lurking in the woods. From that day forth, Red vowed to never stray from the forest path again, and whenever she ventured into the woods, she always carried a sharp blade by her side. As for the wolf, he slunk back into the shadows, nursing his wounded pride and licking his wounds. And though he may have escaped that day, he knew better than to mess with a brave and resourceful girl named Red.
Bye-bye, kids.